Hi, welcome to my shop again. I would like to remind you that Mike Hunter has been a sponsor and sponsoring my YouTube channel, and he has a special going on right now for the holidays, so check Mike Hunter's website out. I'll put a link down to both Mike's site, and my new sponsor, Doug Thompson with Thompson Tools, is also working with my YouTube channel. So this time we're going to have a little bit of fun doing a small vessel. This is a good example that it doesn't, you don't have to do big stuff to have some fun. This is a piece of maple that was kind of plain Jane, and so I decided to do a little bit of carving, a little bit of coloring to snazz it up a bit. So let's get started. Okay, let's get started. I've got a piece of sugar maple here that we're going to start to rough out. I always do the same thing I always do. I'm going to start between centers, and I'm going to get on the balance point. Okay, we get the tool rest up real close, because when I turn it on, it's just going to be a blur. So we get the speed up. Faster the speed, the easier it's going to be, as long as I've got a good secure grip on it. Face shield. Okay, we're going to hog it off as usual with the bowl gouge. I'm just going to push right into the side of the tree. Going to rough this down and get it the right diameter, and then we'll clean up both ends, and we'll prepare, make this end a little bit concave to put the faceplate on, and we'll get ready to put it on the lathe on this axis. Okay, now I've made a concave surface here so that my faceplate will sit around the rim, and we're going to screw it in like I always do. With any hollow form, I'm going to use a faceplate, not a chuck. It's the best way to hang on to it for good support. Now we've got it mounted on the faceplate and back on the lathe. You can see it's got a little bit of wobble in it. I'm going to take this down to my final diameter. It's going to be about 3 inches in diameter, so we can get rid of some of this waste wood. Real quick and easy, fast to go right into the side of the tree. I'm going to leave some mass down here in the base to hold it up so that I don't have any vibration. So I'm going to wait and do this in stages. Now I have the waste wood out of the way here. We're going to have to start to make a shape. I'm still going to do a push cut with my bowl gouge and get some of the back area around where I want to make the flared lip, so I can still hog off a little bit more. Okay, now there's a lot of different ways to skin this cat, and just for fun here, I could use the bowl gouge and get the handle down and do a slicing pull cut here and clean this up nicely. But I'm going to use the Hunter tool. This is a Hunter, the standard Hunter number 4 or number 5 maybe. Why? Because I can get the bevel support and a nice slicing cut. On this spindle-oriented tool, if I'm working right to left, I'm working right into the end grain. Okay? So I want to slice the fibers, I want to peel them cleanly and not tear them up And the Hunter tool does that very nicely. I could do it with a bowl gouge too. You could do it with a spindle gouge because this is a spindle format. So lots of different ways you can do it. I just wanted to show you another tool. And show that there's lots of different ways of doing this. Alright, so now I've got the roughness out of there. I'm going to go into a more finished cut, so I'm going to stick the angle of the carbide cutter on a steep angle, so it's going to clean it up nicely. Here I'm going to swing the handle away from me to make a concave surface. All the fun and excitement and design elements are all on the outside of a hollow form, so this is where I want to spend all my time and make sure everything is perfect. You notice I'm going from the large diameter to small with all of my cuts, the spindle mode of the grain going parallel to the bed. I go downhill to the fibers by going to the large diameter down to the smallest diameter, making the cut downhill with each cut, cleaning it up and making it perfect. Okay, now we have the shape done. I'm going to drill the first thing for hollowing. I'm going to drill a little entry hole, and I'm going to make a little cone-shaped dimple in here so that the drill starts to center itself before it starts drilling. So I'm just going to use a little pointed scraper. The little cone has to be bigger than the drill, so that the drill seats inside the cone before it starts drilling. Okay. Notice I drilled a hole through the tailstock quill and the drill so that I can pull the drill out without it pulling out of the Morse taper. Okay, now I have the captured boring bar set up with the carbide cutter assembly. And again, that carbide is on an angle, so we're going to slice through these fibers real clean. And it's very easy and effortless. So see, we're going to make shavings instead of sawdust with the carbide cutter. So I'm just going to open this up and make a cylinder shape first. Okay, so we're just going to open this up in a cylinder shape. Right now I'm in the hog and off mode of the carbide cutter. As I'm coming across, I'm pulling it from the center to the left. What's the grain orientation there? I'm going into the side of the tree, to the left, to the left, to the left. So I'm not pulling it in and out, going to the left. Then if I want to clean up that sidewall and just see what that feels like, get the humps off of there, then I go back and forth. But my hogging off is from the center hole to the left. And I'm kind of doing a little bit of a scooping action. I'm actually pulling it away from the bottom slightly, so that I'm not riding the bevel. I'm not pushing forward towards the headstock. Alright, now we're going to use the laser to measure the wall. I'm going to be carving on this, so I don't want to make this too thin, but I need to get it uniform, so we're going to use the laser to help do that. Going to work in this area here first, so the tangent, the area that I'm going to work on, is the long line of the card. The arrow is the perpendicular where the gap is going to get set. So I'm going to bring it over to my carbide cutter and set the laser so that the gap is going to be my wall thickness and the gap's going to be my measuring device. So we'll set it about there. That's going to be maybe about a 3/16 thick. Okay, and we'll go hollow. So while I'm in there now, the laser is a dot on top, And when I get over the sidewall and start working here, the laser gets elongated. That says slow down, I'm getting close. As it gets elongated, I'm going to stop when the laser falls off. Stop. Stop. So the process now is to make the laser disappear. That's measuring the wall. Stop, stop, stop. Then I'm going to go back in just with my fingertips. Now with just my fingertips, I'm just going to go back and forth on that area that's been measured and clean up the tool marks. I want that really nice and clean. I don't want to have to sand in there, stick my fingers in there and sand. So I get it really nice and clean before I move on to the next stage. Okay, then we're going to go on into the next stage, measure some more, stop, stop, okay, now we're getting down in there another ½ inch or so, that's measured. Clean up the tool marks again, make sure I transition it into that first stage. But I'm never going all the way back out to the tip. Out to the rim of the vessel again. That's already thin and done, so we don't have to go back out there again. If you have a little tool mark in there, you can clean it up. Just very gently go back and forth. We use our hearing to identify the sound of the cut happening, a little hiss of a sound. And check in there if there's any marks, we can get rid of them before we move on to the next stage. We have to keep the laser 90 degrees through the wall, so we have to reset it periodically. Make sure that gap is 90 degrees through the wall. It's measuring with the gap. It's not the laser light, it's the gap that does the measuring. Get it nice and clean in there. Fingertip control is all you need. Okay, now that I'm down in this bottom area down into here, I need the angle of the gap has got to change again, so I have to reset the laser to come back around the bottom from the largest diameter down towards the bottom. The laser's got to be in a little different place again. So we're going to move that over to about there. Can we see it on the camera? Mm-hmm. Okay, we've got it hollowed down into here, so now we're going to clean up the bottom and get our bottom portion finished so that we can see where it's going to sit on the table. I didn't do this originally because I want to have support so I don't get vibration when I'm hollowing, so I needed to leave that support there. So now I'm going to do the outside stage. All of this waste wood can go away. I'm going to take this down to the diameter of the faceplate just so I don't hit the screws. Get this wood out of the way, I don't need it anymore for support. And it gives me room to get in behind. I'm going from large diameter to small. Large diameter to small. Meet in the middle. That's downhill to the fibers, the supported fibers. See, now I don't need support because I'm only going to hollow in this just very small area down into here. So I can take this down to a smaller diameter. If I take it down to that small diameter, come out here to try to hollow, then it's going to vibrate. I don't want to leave too small a foot here, probably about where where that's at right there is looking pretty good. Nice cleanup pass. Now we're going to go back and we're going to hollow this last little ½ inch or so in the bottom. Now that we've got that outside finish, we just need to go inside. Our goal now is to do two things. I want to make the drill hole go away, and I have to finish the sidewall. Okay, so when we're finishing the sidewall, we have to be back around in that area in the bottom. The card has to be on that angle to do that bottom. And I'm going to bring it over to the cutter, and I'll set it on the arrow line so that my gap is going to be perpendicular to the wall, 90 degrees to the wall. The gap is my measuring device, so that's got to be 90 degrees to the wall. Okay. I'll go back in there. Go back in there and pick up where we left off before, right down into here. Let the laser disappear. Stop, stop. Clean up the tool marks and the transition between the two stages. Alright, now at the same time the drill hole went away too, so we accomplished both things at the same time. Alright, when the drill hole is gone and the sidewall is done, we need to stop and do two things. I'm going to reset the laser so that there's no gap. Set the laser right at the tip with no gap. Okay, right there, no gap. Then the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get on the center line. So I'm going to blow this out and get dead on the center line so that I don't have to fight with the nub. So I'm going to scratch a line with the lathe off, scratch a line across the bottom. Take a flashlight and look in there. And I'm too high. Alright, so I'm going to lower that about 1/8 of an inch. That's about one rotation with the threaded rod. Scratch another line. Ooh, it looks like I got her there. Alright, so now we're going to take one little cleaning up cut down there. And we're going to watch the laser. We're going to watch the laser, watch the shape of the inside. Okay, see how the laser is making an arc on the inside? We can see the inside shape by watching the laser on the waste wood. And I'm very gently just cleaning up the tool marks. Look in a flashlight, look in there, see how I did. Oh yeah, that's sweet. I can live with that. Okay, we're finished with the turning now. I did a little detail in the bottom here, just put a little foot on it. So now we're going to have to wait. This is wet wood. It was cut just a month or so ago, so it's got a lot of water in it. I'm going to have to wait. I'll probably wait an hour or two till the surface dries out so that I can sand it, and then we're going to come back and we'll do a little carving and put a little dye on it. So we'll finish it up a little bit later, but we'll take a break. Well, I did it again. Dummy. Pavlov's dog learned. Don't fall off the tool rest. Some breaking news. I just met with Brent English of Robust Lathes, and I'm going to represent Robust and have a Robust American Beauty coming myself for my shop. I'll have some more information in the description section below. But we'll see you next time in the next YouTube clip for the carving and texturing and coloring that I'm going to do on this little vessel. See you soon. Enjoy your turning.